Why would anyone ever buy a new bike? This is the thought that always comes into my head when I ride this thing for any distance. You know, you could go out and spend 30,000 plus on something new and fancy with all the latest tricks and ABS, traction control, LED, God knows what. But it's all about the riding. And really, you can get into riding. You can buy a bike for next to nothing. There's so many good used bikes out there. It's hard to imagine going out and spending, well, let's just say I paid for this what you would lose in depreciation on most bikes in the first year. Actually less. Far less. And yet it does everything you'd want. It's smooth, it's comfortable, rolls along well. It's even cool in a mid-1980s excessive chrome and steel kind of way. But I guess for a lot of people it's not so much about the riding as it is about having the latest thing and being able to say to your friends, you know, look at my fabulous new bike. I say that too, but my new bikes are not new. Oh, look at the turkeys. Oh, turkeys. I must admit I get a certain amount of pleasure from being able to ride along on something that didn't cost hardly any money. I guess I'm cheap. But if from an environmental point of view, although this bike probably isn't as fuel efficient, no, it's not fuel efficient at all, and probably not as environmentally sound as modern bikes, with all their pollution controls and lean running engines and all that kind of stuff. The energy's already been spent and the materials have already been used in its manufacture. So I'm not really increasing the load on the earth by using an old bike. And probably, in the big scheme of things, the difference in pollution between what this puts out and the number of miles that it gets ridden a year and that of a new bike is not significant. Not compared to the cost of manufacture. I do love this road, but when you're riding it, particularly riding it into the sun, you have to be on a constant watch for deer. They're likely to head across the road at any moment, which is why I always keep my speed down to reasonable levels. Such as here. Never fails. That's 3. I wonder how many more we'll see. When I first got this bike, I thought it was a bit of a pig. A bit of a handful in the corners. Felt like it was going to drop in, especially at slow speed. But a slight change in the handlebars, and I guess spending the time in the saddle and getting used to it, I now find it handles really nicely. I can swing it into these corners with perfect confidence. And the power delivery is so smooth with this big engine that there's never any concern about, clawing up a hill like this in third gear. It just rockets up if you want. Now put about 10,000 kilometers on this bike. and I don't know if it wasn't run in before or what, but it seems to get smoother and more relaxed all the time. It's just running really nicely. Now that I've replaced the hydraulic switch, it starts on the button every time. There's more turkeys in the field. Much as I love my Gootsies, it's nice to have a modern bike in the stable. This is rapidly becoming my go-to bike, despite its bulk. It's so easy to... just everything works so well. Jesus, they're still here. Come on, babies. There you go. Good girls. They must be feeding at the side of the road. Man, I dislike the sound of four-cylinder across-the-frame motors. I just don't have anything that interests me at all. They just sound buzzy, buzzy, buzzy. Even though I'm sure the riding is, the feel of the engine is smooth, it's just the sound. The whole... I don't know. I'm an opinionated git. But I sure do like the feel of this big old V4. As I said before, it reminds me of a lazy old V8. Never working hard. Always plenty of power there. It's never going to be, well, it actually is quite a fast bike, but it's not designed for speed, it's designed for just rolling along endlessly. Power whenever you need it. Man, this thing handles so well. I can't get over how such a big bike can be so, can feel so controllable.